Hey y'all, it's Ron back at you. Got another e-bike rack to review from OutFItR, and this time they sent me a 2-bike rack because I mentioned to them that I might be getting a second e-bike and I'd really like to have a 2-bike rack. Well, they said, hey Ron, why don't you take this and review it for us, okay, since you need a 2-bike rack. So in the previous video I did, and if you're interested in it, I did a single bike rack. I'll put a link in the description of this video if you want to watch that one. This is a 2-bike rack. Now, just a disclaimer here, okay? This is not a paid promotion, but OutFItR did contact me and asked me if I wanted to review their products. And they told me that if I did that, that I could keep the product. So that is kind of like a disclaimer there, okay? Just now, the other day I got my book out from my e-bike, which is a Sysagad courier cargo bike, and it weighs 90 pounds. I didn't know it weighed so much, but in the previous video I did for OutFItR, you can see that I put it on the rack and drove around with it, and it handled it just fine. So my goal here today is to quickly get this assembled today. Tomorrow I am traveling to Chattanooga to meet my friend Tim Childers for a bike ride. And this is going to give me an opportunity to drive almost 90 miles with this bike rack with my e-bike on the back of it to see how it handles. So let's get it unboxed, okay? Now, I want you to get a good look at this, how it's packaged, okay? It's packaged really well. Everything is zip tied in place in boxes. There's an instruction book right here. So I've cut the zip ties off. We're not going to go into a great amount of detail on the actual installation or assembly. You can work through that yourself. Let me show you what was in that box, because there's a really minimal amount of parts you got to put together. Of course, you've got 2 racks or 2 ramps to put together. So you've got one of these and one of these for each bike, okay? And then you've got one of these for each bike. That's it. You got 3, and then you got 4. You got about 4 major components to put together, and that's it. It shouldn't take too long at all. Got one more part, okay? This part. This is the part that goes on the truck, okay? And it's where the weight is on this. This has got the weight on it. So this is what I'm talking about right here. This bolt and this lock nut goes on here. There's a mechanism inside here, okay? It's silver. That slides up over that because you have a release. You have a release on the handle, which I'll show you in a little while how that actually works, okay? So I just want to be clear about that part of the assembly. Now, I did not have a 24 millimeter wrench or a 24 millimeter socket that I could use, so I'm using a 1-inch SAE wrench, okay? And it seems to work just fine for this particular bolt, okay? The hitch pin that's required on here that they give you takes a 15/16 socket. So what I did is I bought a 15/16 socket. I had an extra 3/8 inch ratchet in the basement of my home. I just took that and put that in my truck as part of my vehicle toolkit, okay? So this is the top, okay? And this chock right here is for the back wheel. This part right here is for the front wheel. And the orientation of this is this curved part is in the up position on this rack. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that set right there, and we're going to find the nuts and bolts that it takes to put that together. When you're using this rack, and if you've used it for a little while, is you just periodically check your bolts and make sure none of them have come loose for any reason. But if you get them fairly snug and tight, you shouldn't have a problem with that at all. Okay, what I've done now is I laid the bracket, the hitch part that goes on the truck, on the ground here, so I can attach the rails to it, okay? And they're real easy to install, the rails. There's only 2 bolts per rail that holds it on here. 4 of these really longer bolts, okay? And I'm gonna put those on here now. Like I said, it's not too difficult to put this thing together. Now when you're putting these rails on this bracket, get them tight, but don't really bear down on them and get them too tight, okay? Now make sure when you put the other rail on, you get the bracket for the front tire, this curved piece here, facing the other direction, okay? You don't want them both facing the same direction. Okay, we're getting down to the wire here, okay? And the next two items that I need to put on here are the center support tube. So this is really important what I'm going to show you, okay? Each upright support tube comes with these two washers, these two nylon washers, and that's to allow this arm to slide up and down. They go on the inside, okay, and I'll bring you down closer. They go on the inside of the bracket against the tubes themselves. So let me show you real quick. I'm gonna bring you right over here. Okay, let me show you right here. They go on the inside, okay? So you've got two for each, and they slide in there like that on the inside of that bracket. In order to get those washers into those center supports, okay, I had to turn the rack upside down. You may need a hammer because they're a little bit tight getting in there, but definitely these two nylon washers or bushings need to go on the inside of this bracket, not on the outside. You can actually see where they have formed the piece to accept the nylon washers. So just take your time. It took me a few minutes to work that all out, and I had to peck on them quite a bit to get them in line because they're really tight. As you can see, I have the OutFItR 2-bike hitch electric bike rack assembled, okay? And I'm ready to put that on the vehicle now and try it out. So let's do that real quick. So I've got it in the hitch receiver, and what we're gonna do now is put the bolt in there. You're gonna want a 15th, 16th socket to put this on and to take it off. And you wanna keep that with you at all times, just in case you have to take the rack off for some reason. So these are the two uprights that you attach to your bicycle, to your e-bike, and they fit over this like this, okay? One faces the front bike and one faces the rear bike. And they've got a strap on them, so when you put your bike on here. But one thing I want to bring to mind is when you're going down the road transporting and you don't have a bike on here, if I was you, okay, I would strap these in their holders so they stay there like that, okay? Okay, we're gonna fold the rack up then, and I'm gonna just support this with my knee and pull this and show you, and it should lock into place, okay? And there it is in its folded position. So this handle has a safety latch right here, and when you pull it out and you turn it about a quarter turn, it'll stay unlocked for you, so you can pull the handle and lift it up or let it down. But make sure when you're finished doing what you need to do before you go down the road that you take this locking pin and you turn it back to lock it in. But I think it's important that you know some of these features. So this is the OutFItR 2-bike hitch electric bike rack, model 4118, and you can find that on their website. I'll put a link in the description of the video for you to go there and find it. It is a 2-bike bike rack, and it's safe and secure off-road, features a dual arm fix, anti-fall, 360-degree swivel design, patented secure wheel cradles, okay? That's these things in the front right here. They are nice. They are really beefy, and they'll take a fat tire bicycle. It has an anti-wobble system to keep your e-bike securely in place, preventing sway or hitting the vehicle. I can vouch for that. Once you put that bolt in that hitch receiver, this thing is not moving, okay? It's solid as a rock, okay? It's compatible with cars, SUVs, trucks, trailers, and RVs. Now, one of the things they mentioned, if you go on their website and read about this is the one that they kind of recommend if you have an RV or a travel trailer, okay? It has a 200-pound total capacity, means you can put two 100-pound bikes on here. If your bikes are kind of heavy, like mine weighs about 90 pounds, I can take the battery out and save about 11 or 12 pounds and get it down within its limits, okay? It has universal tire holders and wheel straps, and they're compatible with e-bikes, mountain bikes, road bikes, and anything up to a 5-inch fat tire. And I can attest to that. I've got 4-inch fat tires, and you'll see tomorrow when I load the bike, I will have plenty of room to put it in this front holder right here. It's a simple adaptation. Adjustable cradles accommodate various lengths of bikes, okay? That's these things in the back right here. You just lift that thing up and you can slide that into position where it needs to go to support your bike. My bike has a 50-inch or 49-inch wheelbase on it, and it fits on these racks just fine, okay? It's a user-friendly design, includes a convenient handle for easy lifting. I already showed you that previously in the video. It goes on a 2-inch hitch receiver. It's designed exclusively for vehicles with 2-inch receivers. The sturdy rack minimizes wobbling. Pre-assembled parts make easy and quick installation. That is a plus, okay? You saw how many parts were in the box, and it only took me probably about 45 minutes to assemble this whole rack, okay? Most important thing, it comes with a 1-year warranty, backed by a 1-year warranty, dedicated support team ready to assist with any concerns or issues. Let me just go over a few more things so you remember what I said. These center supports, okay, that are down here like this, they need to have this bracket installed on them, okay? What I suggest though is you don't run down the road with those on, okay? I suggest you remove those. So one of them goes for the front bike and one of them goes for the back bike. There's 2 total, okay? I'm gonna take mine off tomorrow, or one of them anyways, if I'm only transporting one bike. I don't want to take a chance of losing this going down the road. They go on really easy. They have an adjustment knob on them. You just slide them down over this, and you'll see tomorrow when I load the bike how they attach to the bike, okay? They're really convenient and easy to use. Well, I can't really say a whole lot more about this thing, okay? Except it's pretty good. It's a pretty good item, okay? If you're looking for a 2-bike rack to haul 2 bikes at a time, I'd say this is your number right here. I'd get one of these. Anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow in the next part of this video, and we'll get the bike loaded up, and we'll take it down to Chattanooga and do some bike riding. Now, one thing I want to add, okay, I came down here to Chattanooga to ride bikes with Tim, and the reason why is because I wanted to have a second bike to load. I don't personally have a second bike. In fact, I'm kind of looking for a second bike right now, and I've been looking at different manufacturers like Electric, Velotron, Hemingway. I haven't decided on what I want to get, okay? I'm really on the fence about this. So if anybody's watching this from one of the bike companies and you want to try to sell me on a bike, reach out to me. I'll put a copy of my email in the description. You can find out from the channel how to get a hold of me. I've had other people do that. But I'd really like to check out a second bike so my wife can go riding with me, and you know, keep the sissy gad and maybe have a second bike, maybe a bigger bike, because I'm 6'2" and I weigh about 230 some pounds. So I really need a bigger bike, okay? Although the sissy gad works pretty well for me, I like the cargo capability. I would like an opportunity to check out another e-bike. Okay, how y'all doing? We're back here on day 2 of this OutFItR 2-bike Hitch Electric Bike Rack, okay? Now, I have come down here to Chattanooga, Tennessee to meet my friend Tim, and I've already got my bike up on the rack, okay? What we're gonna do is we're gonna load his bike up there next to mine so you can see what this rack looks like with 2 bikes on it, okay? So that's what we're gonna try to do now. So Tim, I'm gonna show you right here what I like to do is I like to get everything ready to go. So I undo my straps for my wheels, get them ready. And I keep them strapped like that in transport mode when I don't have another bike on here. And then I'm gonna lift up the center support arm, and I have another one of these in the back of the truck. And what I don't like to do is I don't like to leave these on when I'm transporting the rack without a bike on it, just in case they might decide to fall off, because these things do lay down this direction, and I really don't want to lose one, okay? If you lost one, it would be a bad thing. So we're gonna put that in a position here so it's just ready for Tim, because when he puts his bike up here, the first thing he wants to do is he wants to grab this center support right there and put that on the bike, okay? That's gonna keep the bike from tipping over while you're trying to secure it to the rack. There you go. Let's make sure she's straight. Check that back wheel if it needs to be straightened up. There you go. You're good. Come on up. Okay, tilt it towards you just a little as you pass that post. And this is the first time for him, so you know, after you do this several times, now here's the important part. The important part is this: you want to, before you let go of the bike, okay, you want to attach this center column post right here. So we're going to get it. Tim's is a little bit different than mine. We're going to adjust this real quick for his bike, okay, and get that down here and tighten it up just a little bit. And then we're going to take the strap and we're going to bring it around the front, and we're going to put it on the bike immediately before you do anything else. Don't let go of your bike, okay? Now, it is secure on there. All right, there you go. It's got 2 bikes on it. Okay, now one of the nice features of this, I'm gonna take this ramp off just for a second. Okay, I'm gonna lay that over here, is if you have a hatchback car, and I'm gonna demonstrate this right now because I put my camper top up. I can't put it down right now because it's gonna hit the handlebars. But what I can do is I can let this rack drop. Okay, I'm gonna grab a hold of the bike, I'm gonna release the safety plunger, and I'm going to pull the handle, and I'm gonna hold the bikes as I let it down. Okay, now if you have a hatchback car, or like me, forgot to shut the camper top, okay, you're able to do that. Okay, so anyways, we're going to put it back up in its position, and you'll hear it click and latch. Make sure, and I told you this on the video yesterday, make sure you put that safety pin back in so it doesn't come undone by itself. So there you go. Okay, we have 2 bikes on the rack, and it looks like the wheel chock's about in the right position there. Yeah. No, it's in the wrong position.
No, and he's on the other side of the bike.
Yeah, that's important. We got to adjust the wheel chocks, and now I got to take it loose. I forgot. This wheel chock needs to go in the front of the tire, not in the back of the tire. Tim's wheelbase is significantly. I'm gonna pick it up if you want to unlatch it and move it. Okay. A little bit further.
Yeah, hang on a second. I turn that around the other way. Okay.
Slide it some more. Get it all the way. Now, put it right up tight against the wheel. Yeah, so Tim's wheelbase is a little bit less than mine. So these are really easy to adjust and to tighten up. Now we have it in the right position. Okay, let me reiterate that on the video. This wheel chock for the back wheel needs to go in front of the wheel, not behind the wheel. Okay, and then you just take this and reattach it, and you might want to turn that just a little bit so you don't bend the spoke. Okay, see how you got between the spokes? Yeah. And there you go. This rack right here, I don't know what Tim's bike weighs, but it's a little bit lighter than mine.
About 66 pounds.
Mine weighs about 90, so we got 150 pounds of bikes on this. Okay, now like I said in the beginning of this video, this is my second rack. The other rack that I reviewed for them was a single bike rack. Okay, and it's equally as good. I'll put a link to the video in the description for you to go check that one out if you want to. That's all I got to say about it. Okay, anyways, OutFItR, I appreciate y'all sending me this rack to check out for you and do a review on. I like it. It's very good quality. Both of their racks that I've done is very good quality, and you can count on that. Okay, hey, we'll talk to y'all later. We're gonna go ride bikes now. See ya.